Good afternoon. My name is Paul Ochmanek and I serve as chair of the Chicago Bar Association Young Lawyer Section. Additionally, I am a practicing attorney in the Circuit Court of Cook County's Municipal Department, Civil Division. Sitting here with me today is Judge E. Kenneth Wright Jr., Presiding Judge of the 1st Municipal District. His Honor will be offering tips and best practices to aid you when you go to eviction court. Judge, thank you for joining us here today.
Thank you.
What is an eviction case?
An eviction case is where a litigant files petition and a summons asking the court to help it out, to evict the person and maybe give it a money damage.
And how does an eviction case routinely start?
It started with the plaintiff filing a complaint. A complaint is an item in paper that the court receives that says this person has violated the lease, whether it's oral or written in some fashion, and that I want this person to pay me money if they owe it and to move out.
And then what is a summons?
A summons is the paper that the sheriff serves on the person to notify them that a lawsuit has been filed and when they must attend court and where.
Thank you. Is there anything a landlord should do prior to filing suit? And secondly, what should a tenant do after receiving summons?
The landlord should get all his papers together. The rent receipts, his ledger as to when rent's due, when it's paid, his notice, 5-day notice, or termination tenancy notice, or lease notice. Have all his papers together at that point before he files a lawsuit. The tenant, when he receives papers from having a lawsuit filed against him, must collect its 5-day notice that it's served, if he was served one, and also must get his rent receipts together to see when he has paid rent and when he has not paid rent, so he can present them to the court and then go to court.
After the filing of the lawsuit and after the tenant has received summons, what is one of the most important things the parties should do the day of court?
First, attend court. Must go there. Must get there early. Find out where you should go. It takes a while now to get through the court system because security. You have to make sure you have everything you need when you get through security and go to court. Find out where the courtroom, where it is, where it's located. There's a sheet, usually to the right of the courtroom door, where you'll find your line number and the name of your case. You should go then to the clerk's office and to the clerk who's sitting in that room and you should check in with that clerk.
What can the parties expect when the clerk or the judge calls their case?
They can expect the court to ask them for their names at that point and ask them if they're ready for trial. And then if they say yes, they're ready for trial, then the court will proceed by asking them to tell their story. The plaintiff is the one who filed a lawsuit, so that person will get an opportunity to go first. Once the plaintiff filed a lawsuit, the tenant gets a chance to ask the landlord questions if they want to, have the documents been presented and testimony. If they're witnesses, the person will have presented themselves witnesses. The tenant at that point will get a chance to question the landlord. If the tenant does not want to question the landlord, the tenant has the opportunity to just tell his story. Tell the court whatever things that reason why he has not paid or if he has not paid rent. And the court will make a decision.
And then what happens at the end of the trial?
At the end of the trial, the court, if it finds for the plaintiff who is the landlord, the court will assess money damages, if any are due, decides, and the court will give a stay as to when the person must leave the apartment.
Why would the court seal an eviction file?
The court seals eviction files on two particular occasions. One is when there's been a foreclosure eviction, where the tenants themselves are not a party to the foreclosure, and that case is sealed from the very beginning before it's heard in court. And it has a stamp on it, and the judge automatically seals that case. The other one is where the tenant wins his lawsuit and has no wrongdoing in that lawsuit. The court then, the tenant then can motion the court or ask for it in an oral motion that case be sealed. And that's good for the tenant because at that point, the tenant, the file is not viewed. The public cannot view the file. It does not affect the tenant getting a new place in the event that he wants to rent someplace else. It does not affect his credit in that way.
After the trial, and after the court has found in the plaintiff's favor awarding an order of possession, who can actually evict the tenant?
The sheriff goes out to make sure peace is kept, but the sheriff does not do anything except make sure peace. A court order, the court signs a court order that says when eviction must take place. And eviction has to take place within 120 days. Otherwise, they have to come and get an extension. And when the sheriff goes out and makes sure that everything's okay, the landlord has to actually have everything moved out. The sheriff doesn't do any part of that.
If an order for possession is entered against a tenant, how soon must the tenant vacate the property?
It depends. It depends on how long the tenant has resided in the property, whether there's anybody ill or sick in the property, whether or not there's any other offsets to determine how long the person should be there. The court will make a determination how much time the person gets and determine that and put it into an order as to the number of days the person has to get out.
Any other tips, Judge?
I would only say to a person, if you can get a lawyer, get a lawyer. That these are very complex legal issues that we go through. And if you're interested in living and having your rights in your premises and having your rights adjudicated, a lawyer can best do that. They're trained for that type thing. And there are many ways in which you can get lawyers. If you go to the clerk's website or the chief judge's website, you'll find pro bono lawyers. Some will do it for nothing. Some will do it for little amounts of money. But there are a lot of people who will be glad to take that case if you present it.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you for your comments and your candor and your help today.